podcast, and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or Tom at TrentoVision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and TrentoVision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Yo, okay, we're back. We're back in action. Here we are. Oh, it's good to be back. Isn't it good to be back? Everybody's supposed to say, yes, it's great to be back.
Yes, boss, it's great to be back.
Let me try that again. Let me try that again. Isn't it good to be back live?
Going, woo,
yes.
Woo.
Happy 2 days after your birthday, Joe. How are you? All right. We celebrated Joe's birthday on his birthday, the 24th, with a wonderful birthday song for Joe that we don't
which he
have
didn't hear.
Which he didn't
No,
hear.
which he heard but couldn't make out the words of.
Oh, well.
I tell you what, it went something
can you play
like
that real
Happy
fast again?
Birthday.
No, long gone.
You can't cue me on the
Okay. We got the
Yeah.
okay. Hi everybody, Tom Trento. I turned on iHeartRadio yesterday during Christmas to check to see if we were on at 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Our Tuesday show, our Monday show, was repeated in its entirety Tuesday, Christmas, 3 to 6.
Right. I listened to it too.
Then did you turn it on at 8:30?
No, it was on again.
I turned it on, just testing, just doing. I don't even know how I did it, and I hear. I go, I know that.
I know that laugh.
Cackle. I know that cackle. I go, what's going on?
What's going on?
They
See,
repeated it again.
Did they really?
We had 6 hours.
Did they pay us for that?
I'll check the account. I don't think there's any money in the account.
Probably not.
No, but that's pretty good, and we didn't have to pay them for that either.
Really?
So
That's swell.
that worked out good. Yeah,
we
we
might
were
have
on.
had accidental tourists.
We were on. Yeah, we may have had a lot of Jewish people listening at Chinese restaurants. Is that where you went yesterday? Did you go there?
No, I didn't go to a Chinese restaurant yesterday.
I keep hearing that my Jewish friends, they go, yeah, we're going to Chinese. What is that? Is that like something?
It's a Jewish tradition to go to a Chinese restaurant on Christmas.
Is it for real?
Yes.
Is it really?
What's the connection?
Everything
thing
else
that's
is closed.
The communists Chinese.
And they also go catch a movie just beforehand because they were all at the theater yesterday.
Oh, you?
Watching Les Miserables.
Oh, okay. Because 90% of the world is celebrating Christmas. Actually, 30. It's more. We
No,
did
you
the
said
show.
it was more.
34%.
Right? 2.3 billion people.
Yeah, but a lot of people, 75% of the U.S., as we said on Monday's show, are Christians that celebrate. But then millions and millions of other people go, hey, it's a holiday, I'll celebrate it too. So really, the United States somewhat shuts down. And but the United States at one point, teasing ahead for a little later in the show, the United States at one point did not shut down on Christmas. In fact, the United States attacked on Christmas. We're going to get into that. But what happened at Les Miserables?
The
Are
Miserables?
they still miserables? Less miserables?
Yeah, it was actually a really good play. It really was. There were some bad points in it that I didn't like, but in general, it told you the whole story because the acting in it was just
What is
incredible.
the story of Les Miserables?
The story is actually it's a personal struggle of salvation, of how to fighting its incredible odds.
What's the setting? The setting is
the French Revolution.
Okay.
French Revolution and Spain.
What was that, like 1790 or something?
Yeah, it was right after the American Revolution, which didn't end the same way, by the way, as the American Revolution did.
Bastille.
Had a little bit different ending.
Yeah, it was a little
but
messier.
A little bit messier because they didn't really have the whole independence thing going on. But they had,
So
the cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Well, they actually stood up and fight and revolted, but it was it really put you.
Who were they
in
revolting against?
The French kings and let them eat cake like Obama type of stuff.
Let them eat arugula.
Speaking of Obama,
but anyway, I was thinking.
Hang on. He's coming back to Washington.
How come?
to do the Fiscal Cliff, and then he's going to probably fly back to Hawaii to finish his vacation.
Oh, just really run up the bill.
Unbelievable.
So not only is he going to...
Can't he fax his signature
Was it 100,000, 200,000 an hour?
It's $200,000 an hour.
So he just
fly.
doubled the plane flight.
If he does it again, it's another $3.6 million.
Oh, well,
That'll help the Fiscal Cliff, won't it?
And he went to two things: Daniel Inouye's funeral.
yeah, I can just
Usually you send Biden or somebody on a on
I
a
can understand.
biplane.
Well,
In a way,
in town, though,
in a
it
way,
would've
it was
looked
actually
bad
a
if he
pretty
didn't
classy
go.
character.
Yeah,
He really
but,
was.
But he didn't have to go there for that. He didn't go there for that. He attended it, which was good. And he did a little military thing. He showed up at some military thing, too. But, yeah, tell us about Les Mis.
Oh, well, the Les Mis, well, I was thinking as I was standing in line there, I said, if a jihadi come in here and attack in here, 90% of the Jewish population be erased from the face of the earth right here.
Yeah.
Oh, because
That's a soft target.
it is. It's a total soft target. I always think in those kind of whack-out ways when we go
Well,
there.
this is the world in which we live. It's our choosing in life.
But
or our
the
calling
no, it was
in life.
very good. Very good. Saw it the opening day. It was the, Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, the Australian. Hugh Jackman's an Australian,
Hugh
too.
Jackman, you're right.
Yeah.
And
playing Frenchman? I guess they were playing.
And one,
that's what actors
they
do.
really brought out the story more than the. You go watch the play, and you get more of the song, singing, and dancing.
Well, it's a
and
musical.
Stuff. Yeah, well, it's musical.
All right,
It's
so we
based
got
on
from J.
so
Mark
whatever.
Campbell, the disembodied voice.
It's really
we have
good. You go watch it.
We have a 3, 4, 5 stars. What is it? Out of 5?
I'd give it a 5 on the storytelling. Okay, if you go in there for the music part of it, I give about a 3, 3.5. But there's some really
It's a 4.
excellent scenes in there, which give it a 5 on the musical part. So,
All right, so a solid 4 from J. Mark
Yeah.
on Les Mis. Okay, that's the theater report for today. Speaking of theater,
you have a theater report too. You went and saw the
Jersey
Jersey
Boys.
Boys. So what's your theater
Jersey
report,
Boys.
Tom?
Jersey Boys, you gotta love it. It was my 4th time going to see it, and I saw somebody look like you there too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Up in the cheap seats nosebleed section while you're in the front row.
I was in the orchestra.
That's what happens when you
I
wait
was-
too long to buy your tickets.
I was wiping my brow from the spit of the actors as they were enunciating these songs. Oh, what a night! It was late September. I don't sing, but no, it was great.
Don't do
It was-
that again.
It was,
Don't do that
Thank
again.
you
Tom.
for not sharing.
It was very, very good. See, now if I could sing, I'd be singing that and everything, but I can't sing. It was
And then
very
we'd have a
good.
really
Michael
different
went
kind
one
of
time.
radio show.
Yeah. No, it was good. I liked, well, first of all, being from New Jersey, it's sort of the calling card for Jersey because of the Four Seasons, and they grew up in my neighborhood, and I went to school with their kids and all that stuff. But I love the way the set, I've been to a lot of Broadway plays, Broadway, New York, Broadway, and I love the way the set transitions were. I did a little acting in my life, too. That's a whole nother story.
I'm shocked.
And I love the way they just slid the sets in and out. No curtain never came down at all for set changes, even when they have the curtain recessed. So that was pretty cool. And there was another deal I wanted to say on
How come none of you ever take me to the
Jersey
theater?
Boys.
You're
Oh.
always going, and you never take me.
But
That's
whenever
what
I
wanna
walk,
know.
we will in the future. Whenever I walk into a theater, I have a post-traumatic theater disorder. From, I don't know how I got there. I don't know who talked me into it. But I went to, I think at Kravitz, years and years ago, to see Cats.
Oh, Cats.
Oh, my God. That had to be the worst
Ew.
play I've ever seen
How icky.
in my life. And I walked around like this for like
There's
a
no
month.
story to it. It's
It
just
was-
a story
I
of
couldn't even
cats.
tell you.
It's like,
I could not even tell you. And
my
I
wife even hates that musical.
and I did see
Even Jessica doesn't like it.
right.
I did
And
see
she likes everything.
I did see Phantom of the Opera,
Oh, that's her
but I
favorite
saw it
part.
from the seats where you were, even higher.
Yeah.
And it lost a little something when you can look down on the chandelier
Yeah.
and you're watching the guys get ready to make it fall. It kind of loses the the mystery and the surprise of the chandelier falling when you're watching the stagehands go, okay, Joe, make it fall, you know. So, but anyway, we had a good theater on Saturday and a good Les Mis there. I want to go see Zero Dark 30.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, acting head of the CIA just came out and said it ain't real because they're. This is great. Hollywood made the movie. The woman who made the Hurt Locker, who's very good friends, Catherine, Academy Award winner. She's very good friends with the Obama. They gave her.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why our friend Ben Smith, the SEAL, and others made dishonorable disclosures.
Because
They being the administration, gave Hollywood information that was
Right.
proprietary and secret. And some of it was the rendition and the waterboarding and all of that. But, you know, Hollywood wants to make money, so they put the waterboarding in. And now the left is going, America shouldn't be doing that. So the CIA had to come out and say, well, you know, all of that's not really true. The timeline's not right. See, these people when you have a worldview that's not in accord with reality, like the left, it comes crashing down on you. When you put something out for commercial value that's completely opposed to what you believe, and then people attack it, you're there going, what am I supposed to do? You know, and the money rules. So anyway, so you didn't go to a Chinese restaurant.
I did not go to a Chinese restaurant.
Did you do anything of note yesterday?
I can't tell you what I did.
Oh, she probably helped poor people walking down the street.
Yeah,
one of those things.
Yeah, one of those.
Or she drank 400 cups of Organic Gold and just padded herself, locked herself in a padded room with Organic Gold. We got to have a music track or something.
Yeah, we need
Organic Gold. All right, what we're doing today
Organo Gold
at
song.
3:14, Tom Trento here on Trento Vision on the 26th, beautiful day in Florida. In fact, let's tell everybody about the weather down here. I got so far 2 or 3 texts from friends who sent me pictures of them in the snow.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe 3 or 4. And I took a picture yesterday standing by the water in a T-shirt, you know. And
Just rub it in.
And all I did was send it back.
Yeah,
I just
no,
sent it back. And they go, you can't repeat what they said. But what is the
Okay.
weather? In here, it's 74 degrees in the studios at Beasley Broadcasting Company. What is it outside?
And outside in beautiful downtown Boca Raton, it is sunny and 82 degrees with a low later tonight of 54 degrees. Better make your hot mocha Organo Gold drinks tonight, kids.
Is it going down?
It's
Oh,
going
man.
down.
Well, let's do the traffic. Then I have another question on the weather.
Let's retire the traffic segment.
Oh.
It's
no,
Dixie
we'll get
Highway.
hate mail.
It's Dixie Highway. Dixie Highway, and there are cars driving both ways again.
Okay, you'll lose a flock of fans that sit by the radio waiting for Mike to do the traffic report.
Your future wife is waiting to hear
I could
report.
start doing like air pressure possibly.
The barometric
Barometric pressure
That's
of
good.
if you wanted to
That
jump
kind of
something
goes
like
with
that.
the weather, though.
It would. So
Yeah,
I
So
that'd
just
be
take away all my jobs.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
But there's traffic in Boca
No,
Raton today.
if you want to
Okay.
do the barometric report,
Lots of traffic.
But I did get one gift. Actually, we got it the other day, and it was on the top of our table here. It was given to me by J. Mark.
yes.
And it was a magic car starter. The not a battery, but a what is the thing called?
It's called Magic Car Starter.
Magic car starter.
made by Die Hard.
Okay. And all you need to do you charge it up in your house with a plug, and then you don't need. You know, whenever your car dies, your battery, you're always someplace, and you got to ask the slimiest person in the world, "Hey, buddy, can I have a jump?"
Hey, dirtbag, can I have a jump?
Yeah, no problem, lady. You know, here, let me take over. And it gets in your car. He's full of grease and oil. They're all mechanics. They start ripping wires out. You don't have to do that when you have a magic car starter from J. Mark Campbell.
You don't have to say thank you, Jim Bob.
And now, I don't know if this is an irony. I don't know if this is an irony or if this is providential. But as soon as I received the gift, the battery in my car started dying, and I attributed it to the colder weather.
Right.
And it wasn't that cold today in the 80s, and the car went, and I was going to put it in Mike's van but I put it in my car. So I have the magic car starter in my car until I get a battery because I know I'm going to need it. So
Mike
you'll
also
be doing
got
that on your way home from work today?
no, I have to do it tomorrow. No.
Okay.
But
But
what about
I've used those silly things like a dozen times. I really have.
that thing? Yeah. Now you lost parts of it starting Mike's car the other day.
Yeah, well, I'll fix it.
I'm getting texts already. We love Mike. Don't end the traffic deal.
Tell Mort I said hi.
No, it's not
No,
Mort.
it's
It's
not
somebody
Mort.
else. It's somebody else. Somebody else.
I know who it is.
Somebody else. So we do want to do a weather report in New Jersey. Could we get the weather in New Jersey? Are you ready for the weather in New Jersey?
Well, I'm.
What year?
Oh, I don't know, 236 years ago? How about the weather in New Jersey, December 26th, 1776?
Well, that would be the Little Ice Age, actually.
A little
Little
late.
Ice Age.
Things
What happened?
were really, really cold and frozen and dead.
Cold, frozen and dead in
so
New Jersey.
lots of snow, lots of
Deadly.
ice. I mean, really, really cold.
Sleet, rain.
You talking like Canada cold, or are we talking like
We're talking like Siberia cold.
cold? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're telling me on December 26th, today's date, 236 years ago, 1776, it was a cold, frigid, nasty, icy day.
Yes.
I wonder what that has to do with this show.
I
And
wonder.
There's also
Stay tuned.
there's also a boating report.
Oh, we have a boating report.
Yes.
That's right. So if you're out there traveling off the coast of New York and all the areas up there,
This is
Chances
236
are your
years
boat
ago.
is stuck.
chances
in
are
the
your boat is
ice.
stuck. But if you do manage to get outside onto the ocean, you need to be wary of 130 British ships kind of hanging out there in the harbor with guns. and
Okay,
everything
so
on top of them.
it was December 26th, 1776, icy, freezy, coldy in the Northeast in New Jersey, and there were 130 British warships off the coast.
Right.
Yep.
What does that have to do with today's show?
What does it have to do with
Stay
today's show?
tuned, and you will find out.
Yes.
You will find out what took place on Christmas Day and the next day. Yesterday was Christmas. Today's the day after. 236 years ago, they gave you the freedom that you enjoy now. Now, the trick is, can you keep it in this Obama nation that we have? That's the question, and that's the issue that we're going to hit today on Trento Vision, WNN 1470, broadcasting out of South Florida, Boca Raton. Anybody know the Spanish Boca Raton, the English
Rat's mouth.
Yes, the mouth of the rat. Boca, mouth, raton. Rat.
Oh,
now,
do
why,
that again.
Why in the
Roll
world?
that R for us, Tom. would you?
Yeah.
Why in the world would you name a city the mouth of the rat?
Okay, tell us what Boca Raton looks like from space.
And how they knew that back when they named it.
Well, if you were to drive that way, south, just a mile or so,
Right.
and then a little bit east, you will be at the Boca Raton Inlet, where the ocean comes into the intracoastal. Why is it called the intracoastal instead of the intercoastal? Mike?
Sorry, I was looking at news.
I thought it
Anybody?
was the intercoastal.
Intracoastal.
It's the intracoastal
Why?
because it's inland.
No, it goes through many states. It goes
Intra.
It goes.
intra.
It goes from Key West way up to Maine somewhere. The inland waterway.
Intra. Okay.
The intracoastal. Everybody says intercoastal, but it's not what it is. Anyway, the Boca Raton Intracoastal Inlet. Looks like the mouth of a rat. Don't ask me how it looks like a mouth of a rat. It's long and pointy and weird.
How about if we ask you why that's relevant to what we're talking about?
Because in 1776, nothing happened at the Boca Raton Inlet.
Well, actually, there was a lot going on back then.
But having
Not here.
having gone through it on a boat many times, you, if you're a good Catholic, you do the sign of the cross. If you're anyone prone to prayer, you're praying because it is a very treacherous on days inlet. Very, very dangerous because of the cut and the way it is. But in any event, Tom Trento here on Trento Vision with CJ, who was not at a Chinese restaurant yesterday.
Or watching a movie at Les Mis either.
And Mark, who was at Les Mis, he gives it a 4 out of 5 for all things good. So go see that. We do national security radio. What is that? Well, we tell you about the bad guys who want to kill you and then try to equip you to avoid being killed by them. But more importantly, we try to provide the information for you so you can understand the world as it is, and then organize the activists to make the world as it should be. That's our job, to
You
save.
want to make the world in a better image.
You got it. You got to save America, Israel, and the West. Those 3 things are critically important. And today we're going to take a little trip back in time in a bit. But right now, we have anybody on hold or anything?
We'll find out in a minute.
We will take calls, 888-565-1470, 888-565-1470. And for the next 3 days, we're going to provide a bit of a lesson in American history and circa 1770 to about 1780, somewhere in there, the Revolutionary War. We're going to talk about some key events that took place in those times. We're firm believers that you need to understand the history of your country, to understand the value of your country, to understand the necessity to fight, win, die, if necessary, for your country, and to correct it when it goes astray, as it has gone astray now. Oh, prove it, oh wise one. Well, I will. How about that? All right, you ready, guys?
Sinjay, teach us. We want to learn.
Here we go. Yes, Grasshopper, I will. I am going to read some stuff. And for those of you listening, you can be listening on WNN 1470. That's on the right hand of your dial. You can be listening on TrentoVision.tv on your internets or your new iPods that you got yesterday for Christmas.
Is it the intranets or is it the internet?
Yeah. The interweb, actually, for everyone over 75. All of you who got new toys, be sure to download iHeartRadio. And be sure every day to put that thing on, set a little alarm at 6 a.m. so you can listen to Steve Kane and Brian Craig. Those guys are good buddies. They're the bookend of our show dealing with conservative issues. They focus a lot on contemporary stuff on Obama, all of that, and local politics, too, more so than we do. They do a lot of local politics. Mm-hmm. We deal with more global, international, and American foreign policy and national security.
We deal with local jihadis, too.
Local jihadis. We make jihad fun here on Trento Vision. That is so wrong, that statement. We make jihad fun. But it makes sense with this show. It actually makes sense. We have to put it on our business cards. We do very serious work on these issues, but we try here where you're driving in your automobile or you're just grabbing us for a little bit to help you enjoy what a little bit of, sometimes you got to put a little sugar to make the medicine go down. Anybody know that song?
Spoonful.
Yeah.
That's another musical.
Yeah, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that's a good one. You could look at us as...
My sister tells me I dress like her.
You could look at our show as a little bit of sugar to make the jihad medicine go down, because this is tough stuff. But in our 3 days now until... I'm getting something from Mort here. He probably drew something while we were speaking. Let's see what it is. 3 things he said. Hey, Mort, you got way too much time on your hands to be able to draw 3 things. What concussion? Oh, this is good. You got to send it to Mike, too, Mort. A picture of Hillary going, what concussion? All right, Deutsch, we got that one.
Yeah.
And did you get it? Oh, no.
No, I didn't get, no, I got the news, not...
Okay.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is tell you about Peter Feynman, our good friend, our lawyer, as we get going here. Peter is an attorney. If you need an attorney in the state of Florida, he's one of the sponsors of our show. He will be sitting here in the Captain Kirk seat.
The BBC chair?
Yeah, on the 11th, Friday the 11th, a couple of weeks.
I won't be here either.
Wait a minute.
You won't be
wait a
here
minute.
either. Just you.
You and
Mike.
Excuse me?
Yeah. You didn't know
Tell
about
me this
We didn't
story.
tell
Are you guys
us.
going out of town
I'm
for a
bailing.
show? What's
No,
going
Tom's
on?
going in one
dividing-
direction. I'm going in another
we're
direction,
dividing-
and you're staying here holding down the fort.
Yeah, we're dividing and conquering.
Yeah, you will rule the universe, CJ.
Yes. It's you and Peter back at it.
It's me and Peter.
I am going to
I'm
South
going to
Carolina.
need some extra coffee.
Right.
I am going to South Carolina, and the show may
I
not
thought
have
I
the
was going to South
We'll
Carolina.
call in and make you.
the show may not have the jocularity with Peter sitting here. It may be a little more toned down.
Okay, I'm going to tweak him if I have to. Hi, Peter.
Yeah, if you're listening,
Fun times ahead for you.
you may have to untie his tie so the blood flows to his brain.
Okay, his wife might not like that.
Yes, and I will be in South
If he
Carolina.
had one.
Yeah.
I'll be in South Carolina at the South Carolina Tea Party State Convention.
I told
Not
you
a
I
little
was
thing.
going to
I
South
know.
Carolina
Well, then
that
Mike,
weekend, and now I'm not.
Mike,
right?
you're doing it then, Mike.
Yeah, I'm off to Orlando.
Yeah, Mark's going a different direction. There's a Christian summit. The Christian.
Excuse me. Wait a minute here.
I actually should be going to the Tea Party. You should be going to
You're
that thing.
switching us around. The
What is this,
Christian.
Freaky Friday?
The Christian is going to the Tea Party,
Yeah.
and the Unitarian is
With
going
a
to
Jew.
the Christian.
With a Jew.
With a Jew. And the Christian and the Unitarian is going to the Christian Summit in Orlando. The summit is a summit of Christian leaders from around the world, some of the top guys, to consider Islam, to consider the threat of Islam worldwide.
So you're going to have a Jew and a pagan go up there and tell Christians about the threat of Islam.
Oh yeah, he's going with Alan. He's going with Alan.
Is
I
the
don't
Pope
know.
coming?
The logistics are a little different here,
That's funny, actually.
but that's what's happening. Peter will be here on Friday,
By
the
the
11th.
way, the minimum wage in Florida beginning in 2013 is $7.79 per hour. Just so you know.
But still, why would you work if you're getting all the Obama money and everything else like that?
Somebody is
Well,
somebody
for some
is
people,
shopping.
that's a raise.
Somebody is shopping and listening to us as
Right.
they're shopping.
Yes.
They're
so they know
laughing.
what to get us.
They're laughing out loud, and people are looking at them like, "What are you doing?" Oh, we're so. But we're not even trying to be funny. Imagine if we tried. To be
No, we just show up and it's hilarious.
Jocularity. Ha, ha, ha.
It's the 4 hours of.
You want to hear my French laugh since you saw Les Mis?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's right. Okay, I gotta bring this in.
Okay, can we go back to work?
We gotta bring this in.
That was really good.
But we
CJ.
will. That's
all
good.
like Canadian influence. Yeah, there you go. The whole French thing.
We gotta. You're gonna have to. When I say
I'm sorry.
French laugh, you gotta bring that in. It's always good having
Surrender monkey laugh.
yeah, laughing at the expense of the French. Though every time we've been there,
No, I love.
they're nice people. You know, they're fun.
It's the more the government mentality right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I got married. asked my wife to marry her.
That's
France.
right.
She grew up to French high school. I love the country.
Somebody asked me, "What were you doing in France?"
Me or you?
In
You.
France.
They asked me when I said, "Oh yeah, Mark got engaged in France." They go, "What was he doing in France? What were you doing in France?" And that was a long time ago,
Well, yeah. Well, my wife was a tour director,
right?
and she speaks multiple languages and
At the same time.
at the same time, and laughs in French. and she's taking the student groups and also seniors and everybody and the big motor coaches going between each country, speaking of different languages. And I was in the Navy. And
Navy.
I was in the Navy, and I was actually in Norfolk, and I bought a ticket one day. Next day, I was on an airplane in France, one knee, asking my wife to marry her in Paris, France.
Wow, how
It
nice!
just kind of happened to work out. So,
How
where
very
she
nice.
said,
How
I want to
romantic.
think about it. And 17 years later, she said yes. I'm persistent, if you haven't noticed that.
Yes, we've noticed. And that was 10 years or so ago, right?
Yeah.
You guys have been together a long time. Pretty cool. Does she, by any chance, read the Tea Party Tribune?
Yes, she does.
She
looks
does.
She looks at it and she says,
Because that's another
like
one
that-
of our sponsors that everyone out there should be aware of, the TeaPartyTribune.com. I'm going to the South Carolina Tea Party Convention to speak on a national security panel with Frank Gaffney, Hank Cooper, who was the ambassador to that negotiated the salt issues with the Soviets, and Ben Smith. He has been confirmed, so Ben will be on our panel, the SEAL. So
I'm going to go there.
So
I've met Ben up at the RNC.
you met him, yeah.
Great guy.
But the Tea Party Tribune out of Arizona covers all of that news too. So we need everybody going to the TeaPartyTribune.com, looking at their material, and they have a new community. Explain
Tea
the
Party
community.
Community. It is a Facebook style site where you has over 18,000 members right now. I think it's over 20 now, but they're getting ready to launch this thing at the beginning of the year, nationwide with a whole bunch of different, and we're going to be part of that. So it's going to be actually something very.
We got to get Tim on to
explain it
that.
all.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go. We're going to do a little American history, civics 101, but to start in 1776, or to camp out in 1776, where we're going to camp out today, we're going to start right here in good old America. Did you know in December, I'm just throwing out some facts,
Okay.
sort of to set the precedent here. In December of 2008, there were 31.6 million Americans on food stamps. That's 330 million Americans. There were 31.6 million. Today, anybody have a wild guess?
47 million.
Oh, there was 31 million Americans on food stamps in 1776.
No, in December of 2008.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we jumped ahead a couple
Okay, sorry.
hundred years.
Okay.
You were still back in France.
I
on
know
your knee.
you were setting the
You were in France on
I
your
was
knee
picturing. I was
proposing.
in snowy winter Trenton. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
In December of 2008, that's right after President Obama won,
Right.
George Bush reign, 31.6 million Americans were on food stamps. Today, you're right, CJ, 47.7 million
wow.
Americans.
That's
I
a
was
25%
thinking
increase.
47, 48 million.
More than 50% increase over the past 4
50%.
years.
You said 46, 30. Okay.
31.6, 47.7.
Wow.
So big jump.
Of
yeah,
course,
more than 50%.
the government is
It's not 50%.
paying to advertise to tell people how to get on food
What is that all
stamps now.
about? What is that all about?
The U.S. government, the Department of Agriculture, runs ads on the radio and various places to tell people how they can qualify for food stamps.
And you don't. And they're not food stamps anymore. You
Well,
don't
they're
get-
not food stamps.
You get a credit
They
card.
call it.
You get a
It's
credit
called
card.
something else now,
Yeah,
but we
because-
know it as food stamps.
Well, you don't get food stamps anymore because of the embarrassment factor.
I'll tell you a funny story about food stamps if you want to hear one really quick.
Yes, very quickly,
Okay.
yes.
When we first moved down here from Canada, and I went to the grocery store, went to Publix. They used to have that green stamp program that you collected the green stamps in the books and you bought stuff when you filled your books.
Oh, S&H green stamps.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
right.
I remember that.
So I go to Publix for my mother, and they give me these stamps at the end with my change.
Mm-hmm.
And I was horrified. I looked at the cashier and I said, "Oh no, thank
no,
you. I
no.
don't need those."
Right.
I thought she was giving me
Oh.
food stamps.
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't know what the green stamps were. I thought must have looked poor to her, or that there was some kind of problem, because actually when I didn't have American money. I had Canadian money. So I
Well, you
thought
did
maybe
eat-
she thought, and where I was living at the time, they took Canadian money. So I thought maybe she thought I was poor because I didn't have American money, and she was giving me food stamps.
Little cultural
Yeah.
misinterpretation.
Yeah, so I was so ashamed.
Well,
Well, that's
But
gone.
that's the
That's all
thing, is
gone.
nobody's ashamed to take
'Cause you
this
got
well, what
stuff.
you missed out on.
Well, yeah, everybody's got credit card. They removed the actual food stamps because of the shame factor.
Right.
They said, well, we don't want to make people feel bad using these things. We want them to.
But
We want-
what you really missed out on
We want them
is
to feel good about paying for their lobster tails.
you could have gotten with enough S&H green stamps, you could
Mm-hmm.
have gotten a ice chest, a little cooler, or a BB gun, a little Daisy BB gun. You could have gotten some cool things back then.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
missed out on all of that.
Yeah.
Now listen to this.
That's my food stamps.
When you total up all working age Americans that do not have a job in America today, it comes to more than 100 million. 100 million Americans do not have a job. According to one survey, 55% of all small business owners in America, more than half, 55, say they would not start a business today given what they now know and in this current environment.
Wow.
So hold on, let me see if I understand this correctly. What's the population of America? Over 300 million? What is it?
310, 320,
320,
somewhere
right.
there.
And that's all people. That's
All the people,
that's
little babies,
little babies,
little-
old adults.
Old people.
All right. Now, out of that population, I'm guessing. I don't know the exact figure. It's probably about 150 to 200 million actually working age people. So that
About 200 million, yeah.
200 million.
so what you're
probably.
saying is 100 million people out of work are on some type of
Some
Government-
assistance, some way, or just they quit looking for a job. They moved in with their parents.
so you're saying 100 million.
Yeah.
so that's
the study
half?
show.
Half.
Yep.
That's
Half of the people who are of able working age
Are getting some type of
not
government-
working or trying to work.
77%.
Are either looking for work or just not trying because they have given up.
77% of all Americans now live paycheck to paycheck. Back in 1950, more than 80% of all men in the United States had jobs. Now it's less than half of that. The average amount of time an unemployed worker stays out of work in the United States is 40 weeks. That's actually being extended now. If you can, let's see, right now more than 100 million Americans are enrolled in at least one welfare program run by the federal government. That doesn't count Social Security or Medicare. Now, the context for this
that's what I was
is
going to ask. Does this include like military retirees and also Social Security or Medicare, or it's just some type of form of government assistance? Is that
I don't know if it includes the retirees. Yeah, I guess it would, according to what I'm reading here.
well,
And
that makes sense, and the number does make sense. I was just trying to wrap my head around.
Well, let's see. There are
Round number.
80 means-tested welfare programs that the federal government is running right now. 80 different ways you can collect money from the government.
Is there a book for that?
You know, if you go to these things, I've talked to people that have gone. They're complicated to apply for some of the various programs, but the workers will fill out the paperwork for you. If you can't speak English, they'll do all of that. They're
Like
very
when they vote for you in Broward County?
they're very helpful. Now, why would the workers be very helpful in distributing the government?
Because they have an interest in serving their clients. That's where they get their
Yes.
paychecks from. They
That's-
have there's a whole class of people who raise themselves up out of poverty by serving people to keep them in poverty.
Is that crazy or what?
So,
Now, listen.
well, how many people were on food stamps back in 1776, Tom?
Yeah, well, the guys we're going to talk about weren't. Right now, there are 25 million American adults.
They were scratching at the permafrost.
25 million American adults right now today, 2012, living with their parents. That's a new phenomenon where they went out, they can't make it, they're back in the house, and it's kind of crazy in those kind of houses.
Okay, I just have to say that I would move in with J. Mark and Jess before I would move in with my parents.
It's projected that half of
If
all
they would
American
have
children, half of all American children will be on food stamps before they're 18 years old.
Oh my gosh.
53% of all Americans with a bachelor's degree under 25 are unemployed or underemployed last year. Now, all of this is in the context of this administration saying everything's getting better, everything's looking great, we're going in the right direction, when in fact the statistics show we're going in the wrong direction. 2012, third year in a row that the yield for corn has declined in the United States. Global food reserves are at their lowest point.
Well, we're burning it for fuel.
Yeah.
How insane is that?
And then it goes on and on. Today, listen to this. The U.S. debt is now, what's the U.S. debt, roughly?
15 trillion.
16 trillion.
$16.3 trillion. It's even unimaginable, a trillion to, you put the dollar bills like this, the size of the Empire State Building up to the sky is,
You could clog Dixie Highway with
Yeah,
$16
you can-
trillion.
But the beginning of the administration, that when Obama says he was going to reduce the debt,
Yeah.
it was
What
only
was it when he started?
It's
Remember?
like 9 trillion, 8.6.
10.3.
Was it
Yeah,
10
It was
I was gonna say
10.3.
10.
He's raised the debt.
in 4 years?
And, it's George Bush's fault. Okay. Give a little bit of this to George Bush. But in 4 years, Obama has added over $6 trillion to the debt.
50% of the national debt increase from.
Listen to the way this is put. During the first 4 years of the Obama administration, the U.S. government accumulated about as much debt as it did from the time that our focus today, George Washington, took office to the time that George Bush left office.
In 4 years.
In 4 years, Barack
versus
Obama.
232 years.
Yep. And today, the U.S. national debt is more than 5,000 times larger than it was when the Federal Reserve was originally created in 1913. Time is running out. All right, now.
Well, when
from
you say
there-
things are going in the wrong direction, I would correct you slightly on that and say, actually, this is exactly what the administration
good point.
intends. And as far as they're concerned, it's going in the right direction. They want to destroy the American economy, and they want everybody living in America to be dependent on the federal government for everything in their lives.
What a better way to redistribute wealth.
888-565-1470 if you have a thought on the economic situation of the United States of America. And we continue. Only in today's America can politicians talk about the greed of the rich at a $35,000 a plate fundraising event.
Right,
Okay?
right.
Let me get you that one again. Only
Yeah.
in today's America can Barbara Streisand and George Clooney, they get together at $35,000 a plate fundraisers for the president, and they're just moaning about the rich in America that are taking everything. These people, are they nuts? What is the deal?
It is so hypocritical, their thought.
I'll say one thing for George Clooney, though, just, in his defense,
Yes.
besides all the nonsense with Obama, he does do a lot of work for, like, relief in Africa and helping people in the Sudan and all that kind
He
of
does.
stuff. So, and he's sincere about it.
But he's the exception, not the rule.
We'll give him props on that.
Yeah.
He's the exception, not the rule.
Only in today's
So
America.
he kind of puts his money where his mouth is where that's concerned, because he does do a lot of work.
But that doesn't
for
change the
Africa
point
relief.
that these people
Yeah.
are limousine liberals. they're
Limousine
called.
liberals, yeah.
Only in today's America can
But
people.
it would just make sense that they're coming from Hollywood for the most part, because they're not living in reality.
They don't
out
live in
there.
reality. Actors have to always be somebody else. Why do you think they're all in therapy or on drugs?
Yeah, you get to know an actor, and I've met a lot of them. You really don't want to know them because you just want to, hi, how you doing, and go on.
Yeah, and they provide something of value to Americans, entertainment, but to then say, hey, you played, Bozo the Clown very well in your last movie. Why don't you tell me how to solve the world's,
Therefore,
nuclear
tell
issue?
me about global warming.
Yeah, tell me about it.
God. Only in today's America can people claim that the government still discriminates against black Americans when they have a black president, a black attorney general, and roughly 18% of the federal workforce is black, while only 12% of the population is. There is no discrimination.
No.
And if there is, it's not
It's
systemic.
in the opposite direction, though.
It's
The
all about
discrimination
perception.
is against white males, actually.
And you talked about actors and then liberal Hollywood. It's all about how others perceive you instead of who you are and what your core values
Exactly.
are. For example, that's the number of reason these limousine liberals drive Priuses and everything else
Right.
is not because they like the car, they like driving the car
Like
because
the image.
what other people look at them.
They drive their Priuses to John Wayne Airport, jump in their private
Yeah.
Airjet, and then zip to
It's
New York.
all about
and-
perception.
Oh, it's such a
it's
joke.
not about reality.
Only in today's America can the two people most responsible for the United States tax code, Timothy Geithner, who's the head of the Treasury Department, and Charles Rangel, who once ran Ways and Means Committee, both turn out to be tax cheats who are in favor of higher taxes.
Yeah.
Only in today's America. Only in today's America can they have terrorists kill people in the name of Allah and have the media react by fretting that Muslims might be harmed by the backlash. This is today's America. Only in today's America would they make people who want to legally become American citizens wait in their home countries, pay tens of thousands of dollars for the privilege, while we discuss letting anyone who sneaks in the country illegally just magically become citizens. Only in today's America can the people who believe in balancing the budget and sticking by the country's constitution be thought of as extremists. Let me say that one again. Only in America can people like us who'd like to balance the budget and stick to the Constitution be thought of as extremists. The world is upside down. Only in today's America do you need to present a driver's license. I bought a bottle of wine the other day at Target.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit older than 21.
Just a skosh.
Okay.
This is good.
I bought a bottle of wine at Target, and the lady goes,
Was
"Can I
it a
see you?"
Malbec?
Yes, it was, actually. Yes. The lady said, "Can I see your driver's license?" And I've done this before, so I had it out.
Mm-hmm.
Only in today's America do you need to present a driver's license to cash a check, or to buy alcohol at Target, or to get on an airline, or to register for a hotel room. You ever notice that?
Oh, that's right. You do.
Can't get in a hotel room
I always wait in the car.
without a license.
And I get the room for you, CJ.
I always wait in the car. But you don't need.
Okay, my phone is going to light up for that.
You don't need.
That's not what I meant.
You don't need photo identification, formal photo identification to do what in America?
Vote.
To vote. Only in today's America can people demand that the government investigate whether oil companies are gouging the public because the price of gas went up when the return on equity invested in U.S. major oil companies is less than half of Nike, who makes tennis shoes. Okay? Only in today's America can the government collect more taxes from more people than any nation in recorded history, still spend $1 trillion more than it brings in a year, for total spending of $7 million per minute, and continue to complain it doesn't have enough money. Only in today's America can rich people who pay 86% of all income taxes, 86% of all income taxes, be accused of not paying their fair share by people who don't pay any taxes
Right.
at all. Only in America. Well, listen to this. A 21-year-old girl said, "Put me in charge." She wrote this in Texas. She said, "Put me in charge." And she wrote a letter to the Waco Tribune, November 18th, 2011. "Put me in charge. I'd get rid of the Lone Star cards. No cash for ding-dongs or ho-hos. Just money for 50-pound bags of rice and beans, blocks of cheese, and all the powdered milk you can haul away. If you want a steak or a frozen pizza, go get a job. Put me in charge," this 21-year-old girl said, "of Medicaid. First thing I'd do is I'd get women Norplant birth control implants or tubal ligations. Then we'll test the recipients for drugs, alcohol, and nicotine. If you want to reproduce or use drugs, alcohol, or smoke, go get a job. Put me in charge," the 21-year-old says, "of government housing. Ever live in a military barracks? You will maintain our property in a clean and good state of repair. Your home will be subject to inspections anytime, and your possessions will be inventoried. If you want a plasma TV or an Xbox, then go get a job and get your own place. In addition, you will either present a check stub from your job each week, or you will report to a government job. It may be cleaning the roadways of trash, painting, or repairing public housing. Whatever we find for you, you will sell your 22-inch rims and your low-profile tires and your blasting stereo and speakers and put that money toward the common good. Before you write," she says, this 21-year-old girl to the Waco Tribune Herald, "before you write that I violated someone's rights, realize that all the above is voluntary. If you want our money, accept our rules. Before you say this would be demeaning and ruin their self-esteem, consider it wasn't that long ago that taking someone else's money for doing absolutely nothing was demeaning and lowered self-esteem. If we are expected to pay for other people's mistakes, we should at least make an attempt to have them learn from their bad choices. The current system rewards them for continuing to make bad choices. And while you're on government substance, you can, I love this one, and while you're on government substance, says a 21-year-old girl who wrote this letter to the Waco Tribune-Herald in Waco, Texas, and while you're on government sustenance, you no longer can vote.
Ooh.
Yes, that is correct. For you to vote would be a conflict of interest.
Right.
You will voluntarily remove yourself from voting while you are receiving a government welfare check. If you want to vote, get a job.
Wow.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah. Who is that girl?
21-year-old kid.
We should get her on the show.
Stuart Kaufman sent me that. But now
That
it's
is
time
really good.
to end this segment with nothing other than a Sharia report. Because Sharia would change all of this. If we had the Sharia, we wouldn't have all these problems. Let's hear my Sharia.
My Sharia. My Sharia. Never gonna stop or give it up. Killing infidels, always got it planned. Underhand, give Allah a yell. Whoa. My Sharia.
That cracks me up.
Yeah. My Sharia.
What do we got, Mark?
From the codified
Sharia
Sharia law by all major U.S. Muslim groups in North America. This is Sharia law for you in the United States. Unlawful knowledge A7.2 includes philosophy, magic, sleight of hand, astrology, and anything that is a means to create doubt. Offensive knowledge includes such things as post-classical poetry, which contains romance and uselessness.
Everything you just said is not allowed under the Sharia. So you can't.
That's unlawful and forbidden.
No magic, no
Sleight of hand,
no card tricks.
No, they define philosophy as this: is anything that deals with God, life, and after death, and so forth, without the divinely revealed guidance of the Quran and Sunnah. Any opinion that contradicts a well-known tenet of Islamic belief, where there is no Islamic ijma or scholarly consensus. It is unlawful to learn or teach except by the way of explaining that it is unlawful. So,
and
that would include Christianity and everything.
We
else,
will
basically.
start the next segment with that. We'll go through that again, and then we'll get into our history lesson. But that is critically important because it shows a conflict of worldviews. But we're also going to look at this worldview in the United States that is ruining this country, and we're going to go back to 1776 in just a few moments.
To the Wayback Machine.